Hey everybody, and for the first time an introduction to the Leaders Kitbag. And the reason I'm doing this now is the topic of this month's Kitbag is how we work. And frankly, as someone who likes to be open and honest, this is the way that I've been working. But this is not the way that I've been working just since COVID. This has been my workspace for the majority of time for the last 3 years. So I think I can speak, as well as those in my organisation, we can all speak for how this new way of working can be effective and can be efficient and can be super productive, and not just from an output perspective, but from a cultural perspective as well. So what I'm doing with Kitbag this week or this month is essentially looking at as much research and references as I could get my hands on and try and give you the breakdown based on the normal structure of Imagine, Ignite, Immerse and Inspire to look for some guidance and some practical frameworks, especially in the Ignite piece, that you can apply. So some of the standout highlights for me, and I've just made a few notes here as I've been building the newsletter. So PwC did a survey in the US on CFOs. So let's stereotypically say one of the most risk-averse functions there are. We're talking about future projections, and if CFOs are risk-averse, then perhaps they're change-averse as well. But 54% of them said that they intended to make work from home or a remote-based option a permanent part of their go-forward plan. That COVID has permanently changed the way they think about their workforce planning. I thought that was really quite interesting. And then some other standouts for me, there's an article, it's just a brief one from Inc., quoting an interview with the WorkPress founder. So again, someone for whom this has not been any new circumstances. WordPress has been around a long time, and this guy runs a business composed of 1,200 people spread across 77 cities worldwide. And he there provides some useful hints and tips. It's one of the best of these examples that I've seen so far of sort of how to run a company and build a culture in the sort of remote framework. And then if you like a model to work with in any kind of business paradigm, then who better than McKinsey? So McKinsey have offered up a model that they call SHAPE, which is a sort of an agile operating framework around having a startup mindset, putting human at the core, having accelerated focus on digital technology and analysis, having a purpose-driven playbook, although I actually prefer BCG stuff on purpose, which I'll get to in a future kit bag. But if you're interested, get in touch and I'll send you the stuff straight away. And then the E of SHAPE is ecosystems and adaptability. And this is something that I spoke about in Time on the Terrain, this new part of my YouTube channel that I launched a few weeks ago. If you haven't seen that already, I'll put a link in it in the kit bag. So ecosystems and adaptability and reaching out to non-traditional collaborators in the supply chain. This was one of the distinct trends that I observed on the terrain last week. A lot of our clients are now really starting to see the complexity in their supply chain start to harm them. And this very, very precise, just-in-time approach is now causing lots of problems, especially if they're in essential services and they've had massive peaks in demand. And then just finally, there's a really practical framework for sort of thinking about human needs through the COVID phase. And it's set up in a linear mode, but I think especially if you're in Victoria in Australia at the moment, or in another part of the world that has had to go back into a lockdown phase, I think this is really helpful as it categorizes needs in the shelter in place phase, in the opening up phase, and then finally in the post-COVID phase. And that from a workplace design and leadership perspective, you need to be very deliberate and intentional and think about human needs being different across those 3 phases. There's lots of other good stuff in Kitbag as well. These are just the highlights, the things that have really sort of landed and impacted with me. But I'm going to do a little video like this to introduce the Kitbag now every month moving forward. So I hope this has been interesting. I hope this will add some value to you. And obviously you'll have a bit more of a chance to get to know me if we haven't already met. And if you're not familiar with my YouTube channel or any of the other places where you can find these kind of videos. So good on you. Lead well, be well. And I look forward to seeing you in the next Kitbag. Take care. To review previous Kitbags, go to the Insights page at 4iLeadership.com, and there you can sign up to ensure that you get your advice and insights every month from the Leaders Kitbag.